Good. So here we are again, on time to deal with our last topic of the morning. It's the destination INFRATECH. Here we are going to present only the core topic in 2023. There's a lot more to come in 2024. And the destination was planned for 24 only, but due to the recent developments on energy prices, etc., we thought it might be useful to advance at least the one topic directly that deals with the footprint and the energy consumption in our very technical destination INFRATECH, that is all about scientific instruments and tools. We again are here with Agnes, who's going to present the topic. In case there are questions, we will deal with them directly, and in the afternoon we continue with the rest of the program. Agnes, if you're ready, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Jo. Good afternoon, everyone. And so I'm pleased to be back with you already. So we can move to the next slide already. So now we are moving to INFRATECH destination. And as Jörg mentioned, it's only one out of several topics that were planned under this destination, but which has been anticipated, taking into account the current context with, in particular, the energy crisis. So new technologies and solutions for reducing the environmental and climate footprint of research infrastructures. So the type of action is research and innovation action. We have a total budget of 25 million euro, and the expected EU contribution per project is around 5 million euro. And if you calculate well, we should support 5 projects, depending on the, of course, of the actual requested contribution per project. The timing, again, call opening very soon and deadline early March. Next slide, please. I forgot to mention one important thing is that we are here, want to address research infrastructure, not individual one. So we expect to have it's an eligibility criterion actually, to have at least 3 either S3, ARX or European infrastructure of European interest able to attract users from different countries. So that should be the core partners of your consortium. So not one single infrastructure, but infrastructure working together to try to address these challenges of environmental and climate footprint. The context is, of course, it's European Green Deal priorities, and as I mentioned, also the rising price of energy. Expected outcome to consider how to reduce the environmental, including climate-related impacts, how to optimize the resource and energy consumption, integrated through the full life cycle of research infrastructure. So it's all different steps of the life cycle, from the concept actually to the development, the construction, and of course to the operation for the core S3 ARX. It's related to the normal operation. It has also an impact on the infrastructures themselves because it's what is at stake is at the end the long-term sustainability of the infrastructure and the sustainability of their services and operation. So the scope, it's about delivering innovative technologies and solutions which will help to reduce the environmental and climate footprint of research infrastructure, as already mentioned, through the full life cycle of research infrastructures. We want to address several infrastructure, not one single infrastructure alone. So it means that we expect you to identify a common methodology among the concerned infrastructure to even assess your environmental impact and strategies to reduce it. So you don't work alone, but you try to identify this methodology together among several concerned infrastructures. With the scope, of course, there are research and innovation activities, and that can include technology validation and prototyping. we need you to train also when you are changing the way of operating of infrastructure, you need to train when relevant the staff operating this infrastructure and how to use this the new solutions that you propose or you develop. So this training part is also a key, might be a key element of your project. And as I mentioned, we want you to work together, so to develop things in common. So we expect to have it's an eligibility criteria to have 3 world-class infrastructure, 3 ARIs and other world-class of European interest. And I think that was my only slide. Let's just check. Yes. Yeah.
Good, very good, Agnes. Thank you. So there is a question in Slido that is asking about European Green Deal priorities and how to liaise with these with the expected outcomes. I think this is something where we can really only recommend to use the search machine and go into the Central Commission web pages that explain the Green Deal. That will be more comprehensive and pitch perfect than we can do here in our info day on research infrastructures. And we see other things coming in. Very good. So I think this is perhaps suitable for you, Agnes, to reply.
So for the INFRATECH call, is it expected to have thematic consortia where each consortium address a specific domain? We don't specify how you will cluster infrastructure to develop common solutions. So a natural way, of course, would be to have a thematic approach. When relevant, it's perfectly fine to have environmental infrastructure or medical infrastructure together. That would be a natural way, but we are not specific at all. So it's up to you to see how best you can address this challenge of your environmental footprint or energy consumption. So it could actually deviate from this usual clustering by large domain. So it's really up to you to see how best you can address it and how you are able to develop common solution. So it could be that it's quite different from this usual cluster, what we call the S3 cluster, for example, the ones that are now currently gathered in the EOS context, for example. So it's really identified how you can address this challenge and see what is common to a set of research infrastructure. You don't need to duplicate exactly this thematic consortia that we use to have in our calls. Could you please give some example of innovative technology that would fit in the topic? Oof. I can give some examples that we recently I was listening for a data center that were having an innovative solution to let's say use the energy that they generate with their data center are used by the local by the municipalities around. So that's something that could be extended to other type of infrastructure when relevant. How to reduce innovative it's up to you. I'm not a specialist. I would say that you can find either technologies or it can be, it's not restricted to technology. It's also in the way you provide access. No, I don't have a really example to give you. And I would not like to focus on one specific technology that it's fully open. So you know better how your infrastructure are operated, where is the consumption of energy, where is the environmental footprint. So no, I would not give some further example. I'm not able and I'm not willing.
This is the correct answer also from my point of view. Thank you, Agnes. Good. So I think we can now that perhaps is something, Agnes, that we can still look into.
It's perfectly fine that you expected I would say when relevant, industrial partners should be invited to co-develop solutions rather than being end users. Yeah, clear.
Very good. Okay. I also very much appreciate that we have managed to improve over the morning already on one important field, from me reading the questions from my other screen to having kind of a presentation of the Slido questions to now have the proper presentation of the Slido questions, and we will of course maintain that standard for the rest of the day. Now we are breaking until 2 o'clock. And at 2 o'clock we start then, but without me. It will be then Michelle that will moderate the next part. We start at 2 o'clock with the destination INFRAEOSC, where the colleagues from RTD and Connect will present that part. And we have then later on at 3:30 Brussels time, another block on the technicalities of the call management and information on proposal submission and evaluation, which will be presented by our colleagues from REA. But we also have a presentation on lump sum by the competent colleague from DG RTD, Ulrich, that will explain how to deal with the lump sum approach. Many thanks to all the colleagues that have been helping us so far to go so smoothly through the info day. In particular, congratulations to the presenters. Everything was on time. We had sufficient time to answer questions. We could have the luxury of short breaks. And I hope also for the outside viewers, it was all understandable and helped you to understand how to better prepare your proposals. Have a nice lunch break and welcome back at 2 o'clock, please. Bye-bye.